Welcome to the Wellness League podcast with your host Ella. And today, my friends are Tim and Amanda from TriFit. Tim and Amanda would have to be the power couple of age group triathlon in Australia. So, shall we dive in? All right, shall we get started?
Sure.
Okay, so we have Amanda and Tim today. Firstly, who are you?
I'm Amanda. So I'm half of TriFit with Tim and Amanda, and I'm a triathlete, and I don't know what else who am I? I don't know, there's so much to me.
Yeah, it's interesting when somebody asks you that, hey?
Yeah.
There's a description on our YouTube channel that says we're far from pros and definitely not in our prime, but we love it just as much. So we're a couple of age group athletes who just love being fit and healthy and making videos on it.
Oh, good. And Tim, who are you?
So I'm Tim. I'm the other half of TriFit, and we've been together 6 years, and it just kind of happened. Actually, I'm not sure how, but I'm a triathlete of 27 years, but a athlete for life. And
Yep. Did you meet through triathlon?
Well, that's an interesting story, which was kind of going to come into your sliding doors question.
Okay, should we leave that for then?
Can we leave
All right,
that
we'll leave it
one
for then.
that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So what's your earliest memory of being fit, Tim?
Oh, geez, I don't ever remember not being. Probably even as a kid, I used to love running and riding my BMX. And then when I got to high school, I started rowing. I was a rower all through high school.
And you did school here in Adelaide, yeah?
Yeah, Unley High School.
Yep.
So from Adelaide, moved when I was 20 to Queensland. Was there 33 years, but first 20 years of my life here. And first memory of fitness, geez, I don't remember not being. I was a very active kid, loved running around, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, what about you, Amanda?
My first memory was probably, I was 2 or 3 or something. I've got 3 older sisters and came from a very active family, and my mum used to always say to us, what sport are you doing next season? Not like, are you doing a sport? So we were always doing something.
Yeah.
So every season I would try something new. So I've done like springboard diving, I've done netball. My family were big into netball, having 3 older sisters.
Of course, yeah.
Football was my biggest one, soccer.
Yep.
So I did that I've actually played soccer for 32 years.
Oh, wow. Are you still playing?
No, I gave up when I started doing triathlon.
Oh, right. What do you think about the whole soccer thing at the moment in women's sport?
So excited.
Yeah, same here. I talk about it so much.
Yeah, it's so good because when I started, there were 4 teams. We used to get kicked off the fields all the time because then the boys would need our field.
Yeah.
We never got referees. And to see it now so big and like how well the Matildas are doing, I love it.
So good. Do you follow any of the teams at the moment, like the English teams or?
Not really English teams. I follow Sydney FC because I grew up in Sydney.
Yeah, nice.
So Sydney FC is my team, men and women.
And then from there, where did your racing career start in triathlon?
It started, I moved to the Gold Coast in 2010 and I'd only just started running, actually officially running. I used to do a lot of team sports.
Yep.
And started running. I was playing soccer. I started running just to be fit because I was 40 then and I was playing with and against girls who were like 20 and I was like, I need to keep up with them. So I started running and then joined a running club and half of the running club were doing triathlon.
Oh, perfect.
So I just started doing that. A girl at work was selling her bike secondhand. I was like, well, that will do. And just got into local triathlon in northern New South Wales, actually, was the local club that I was doing races at.
How good. Did you race a lot in Queensland as well?
I did these little club races a lot and then I'd pick 1 or 2, say, Olympic distance races each year. Or probably 2 or 3 Olympic distance races each year to do.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And then, Tim, where's your racing career starting?
So after rowing, I got into cycling, and the story, I've actually done a YouTube channel. We've done a video on it, but a mate of mine was doing a team at the Noosa Triathlon, and his cyclist pulled out.
Oh, wow.
And the week before the race, he said, "You've got a bike, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you want to do the team, do the bike leg?" And I said, "How far is it?" And he said 20K, which of course it wasn't. It was 40, So I went down
But once you've done 20K, what's another 20K?
well, I hadn't ridden probably, seriously, I doubt I'd ridden my bike in 6-12 months. So
Right.
anyway, I went down and pumped the tyres up and did the Noosa Triathlon, finished it, and just loved the whole atmosphere of it. And I thought, this triathlon's great. I got to have a crack at that. But I couldn't swim. The following day, I went to the pool, couldn't even swim to the end of the pool. So
Fair enough.
it was a long road to doing triathlon from that point, but I got there.
How far did you get? What was your highest point of... Did it turn into a career or...
No. So I started triathlon when I was 25.
Yep.
And I was a good age grouper. I was quite fast once I sorted my swimming out, but not fast enough to go pro.
What's like some of the biggest races you've done?
So Noosa Triathlon, I broke 2 hours at Noosa Tri.
Wow, that's really good.
When I was 28, so a million years ago. That's probably the best I've done. I did a duathlon once where I was first off the bike with a really steep pro field, so managed to beat everyone on the bike. That was a good day, but then I think 3 of them ran past me in the second run, but that's all right. I got 4th. I used to want to be first age grouper, was always my goal. So
yeah. Is your future goal to get into like a Kona setup or...
No, I got no desire to do.
No?
Ironman, that's Amanda. No, now I really have taken more of a back step, and
Yeah.
I still love it. I think I probably enjoy just being fit
Yeah.
more so nowadays.
And Amanda, how many races and what did you get up to?
I went pretty quickly from going from Olympic distance to wanting to do an Ironman.
Yep.
So I actually saw a friend of mine who was 80 on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And I was so new to triathlon, I didn't really know distances. And I thought he was being interviewed about doing an Ironman. I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So I entered an Ironman and realised he was only doing a sprint, but still pretty impressive as an 80-year-old.
Yeah. Which Ironman was this one?
So I did Cairns in 2018.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. I had really good training leading up to it, but got sick in the swim, got seasick.
Oh,
and
wow.
struggled through the bike because I just couldn't get enough food in because I just felt seasick the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, struggled on the run, but finished, and then went to Busselton at the end of last year and got sick just before that.
Oh, gum.
So I've got some unfinished business with Ironman.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the 70.3 distance.
Yeah. And do you feel like the training for that is like reasonable coming into it?
Yeah, it's more manageable than
Yeah.
Ironman training. So I really enjoy training, and it's never hard for me to train. I have a program. I have a coach who's fantastic. I've been with her for a couple of years.
Yeah,
and
who's your coach?
my coach is Emma Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Up in Queensland.
Yeah,
so
I think I've heard of them.
EQ Performance Coaching.
Yeah.
So she's great and is currently coaching me. So my aim is just to come in the top half of my age group.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So and try and even push a little bit further up.
Yeah.
So the top quarter if I can, but particularly for those big races like Ironman and 70.3s when you have a much bigger field. If I can get in the top half, I'm happy.
What's your ultimate goal or the next races you're looking at?
Well, I've planned next year. Oh, sorry, this year. This year now.
Welcome to 2024.
Yes. We're here. I'm doing Victor Harbour long course in March. So I did that last year. That was a qualifier for the World Championships.
Yeah, that's quite an iconic race in
yes.
SA.
Yeah,
I haven't done it yet, but it's on the list.
Yeah, I've entered, so it'll be fun. And I've entered Port Mac 70.3 next year. And I'm hoping to qualify for the World Championships, which are in Townsville in August for the long course.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I have. There's still one more race to go, and I'm currently sitting in 4th spot, and they take 25.
Oh,
so I should make it, but it's not
and
official.
When's the Townsville race?
That's in August.
Okay.
So it's a long course race. It's 3K swim, 120K bike, and 30K run.
Yeah, right.
So
do you find that better than a full Ironman though?
I've done one of those. I did that in Denmark in 2018 World Champs. I'd probably prefer the 70.3 to that distance.
Yeah.
But it's not as far as an Ironman.
Yeah, just drop the World Champs in there. How did you get to Denmark?
Well, that was a similar thing. They have 2 sorts of World Champs. So they have the cone, like the Ironman World Champs, and then there's the World Triathlon World Champs. And with that one, you have to do qualifying races.
Yep.
So I did a couple of qualifying races back in 2018, Tweed Enduro and Challenge Melbourne, which is now Ironman Melbourne.
Yep.
And I got enough points to go to Denmark.
Oh,
So
good.
I
Where
did that.
you race that one? Where in Denmark was it?
It was, I think you say it Odense. If you're saying it Aussie way, it's
Yep.
at Odense.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Odense. It's
How far is that out
it's
of
probably
like
3
Copenhagen?
hours out of Copenhagen.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Nice.
Just on the train.
How was the weather in that kind of event?
The water was freezing.
Yeah.
It was probably 13 or 14 degrees.
Oh, lovely. That's perfect.
So it was very cold. And it was a bit cold when I got out on the bike, but then the day warmed up and the run was hot.
Do you prefer that than like some like a busso race when it's hot the whole way long?
I'm much more a cold weather racer.
Yeah.
I find I struggle a bit as I'm getting older, I struggle more in the heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That was like a
so
perfect
Townsville's
race.
probably not good
Yeah.
for me now, but anyway, I'll go and do it and see
Yeah.
how it goes.
How did you find the difference between like an international race and then like racing in Australia? What was like the major differences?
Oh, I don't know if there was anything compared to major differences, except there was so many Danish people there, and a lot of people you're cheering for your country.
Okay.
So you would get that because you had to wear your country suit, so people could see which different countries they were, and you just cheer. People would just call out, "Go Aussie, go Australia," and
how
stuff like that,
good.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool
Is that
to have.
supplied by like Triathlon Australia?
No, you have to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like you have to wear an Australian suit,
Yeah,
and so everyonene's in the same suit, but you do pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a self-funded.
Of course,
broadcast.
Triathlon's very much like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And from there, what are your racing hopes? So you kind of said you want to racing in the next big races you're doing, but you're training with the Lankers group. And
Yeah,
how are
we
you
are.
finding them?
We love the Lakers, don't we?
Yeah, they're a great bunch.
Yeah.
We there's just so much on, so many different sessions that they run, such a variety of people there and different abilities, which suits both of us because Tim's a much faster racer than I am.
Yep.
So there's still different abilities. Anyone can turn up and find someone that they can train with. There's such a big club. They're so social, and it's probably one of the best things about coming to being in South Australia and training.
Yeah.
It's a really good club.
How do you find the difference between like training in a club in SA versus in Queensland?
Well, I've never really been in the club scene. I've always done my own training, so it's probably
Do you find
new
there's
to
a
me.
difference even then in training?
Well, it's more fun because there's people to chat to and you
but in
pace
general,
yourself.
Like a difference between like the training in Queensland versus training here for triathlon?
No real difference. In fact, I'd say the training's better here. I'd say the people and the area is probably better than certainly than Brisbane. I would say, Brisbane.
Cycling's amazing here.
Yeah, cycling's fantastic, and the motorists are slightly more friendly. And as a general rule, I think Adelaide's probably
you haven't lived through
better.
a tour down under
No.
January yet, though. So a tour down under January, for you guys who don't know, it's
Chaos.
like, imagine everybody who owns a bike gets back on the road, and then everybody who hates cyclists hate them 10,000 times more because everybody's out on the road.
Sure.
Really? Okay.
Seeing it already.
Yeah. So
Well, we live right next to Victoria Square, so
Yeah.
it's perfect. We're sort of right in the middle of it.
Oh, how good.
Yeah, it's great. So we watch them build up the village, and we're excited for it.
Yeah,
Although
it's such a good event, though.
we're away.
Right. From there, talking about the Lankers, I just saw that you did 7 days of Olympic races. Do you want to start?
Well, this was the 5th year, so the club do that. They put it on. So between Christmas and New Year, you do 1,500 swim, 40k bike, 10k run every day for 7 days. You can do it on your own. You can do it. They have sessions every day. You can join in. And it's not always traditional. It's not always swim, bike, run. Sometimes it starts with the bike. Sometimes you can rock up and just do the bike or the run with them and do your swim on your own. For me, it was really tiring. It was 20 hours training for me, which I'd never done.
I did watch your video.
Yeah. So it knocked me around.
Yeah.
Amanda's more accustomed to, 18 hours you were getting up to for Ironman. But for me, I fell in a huge hole. But it was great to finish it. It shows you what you can do if you put your mind to it.
Were you glad that you weren't working like a full-time role around doing that kind of thing?
Wouldn't have been able to. Some did. I think some were working.
Yeah. No, I don't think you could.
I wouldn't have even started it if I was working full time.
Yeah, fair enough.
We just went home and slept.
How did you go about like your nutrition outputting that much in 7 days?
Well, we use Infinite. We're sponsored with Infinite, so we get a custom mix. Mine is 90 grams of carb per serve. And so approximately 3 hours a day, I was having 3 serves of infinite. So
Yeah, right.
it's just all drinking, it's just powder form. That's what I had basically. I didn't eat anything. They also do the chews, which is like an edible gel, and those also. But yeah, we went through a lot of powder.
We had a lot of powder, but then we were pretty good at coming home and having a good meal with protein for lunch and dinner.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
usually we did our session in the morning.
Yes.
So we had, like, we were getting that nutrition during the event as such, and then we'd come home and have a good meal.
Yeah, and you couldn't have water. You had to have your nutrition during it. Otherwise, you just...
Did you like have anything before you started training as well?
Maybe a muesli bar for me.
No, I do now.
Yeah.
I used to always just go out and train on an empty stomach.
So do I, but now
not
I'm
anymore.
changing.
Yeah, and it's been a game changer for me. Been really different.
What do you have now?
So usually I actually put it out on my social media. What can I have? And I just got a whole lot of answers. So
I've heard a lot of people have dates and stuff in a coffee before they're...
Well, I've heard that. I'm not good with dates.
Okay.
I know I love dates, but not before training.
Right.
It's not good for that. And dates and coffee before training.
I didn't think about that.
No. So I would have either like rice cakes with jam.
Okay.
And even the salty ones with jam, so you get like some sodium and some
that's a good idea.
sweetness as well. Or oats and banana.
Yeah.
That's probably my 2 big things. Or crumpets and jam.
I've tried like recently, I was like pre-workout before I did a swim, and I just recently changed to a different pre-workout, and I like at the same time that day I'd also gone to a different pool, and I started tingling like my whole body because of the pre-workout I tried, and I was like, is it the pool or is it the it was the pre-workout in the end. But even I tried swimming off like a quick coffee before, and it swims so much better.
Yeah, we have coffee every morning. That's our ritual.
Yeah.
We wake up an hour before we have to leave, no matter what time that is.
Yeah.
And sit and enjoy a coffee.
Yeah, that's smart.
And,
You just get something
It's
into
kind
you before you go.
It's a good ritual that we've got, and now we crave that every morning.
Yeah.
So it's coffee time.
So if you were to do that 7 days again, would you change anything?
No, I don't think so. I think it worked well.
So we did it every second day with the Lakers.
Yep.
And then the other days we did on our own, so we could sleep in those days.
Did you like the help?
Because we needed
Yes.
we needed the sleep.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
And
And
also-
we
yeah.
did the bike, the run, and then swim a couple of hours later.
Yeah.
So
So
when we're
split
at home, we did it that way.
Okay.
And that was nice. It was, the swim was more of a recovery.
Yeah, just easy.
Yeah.
Fins and just...
Yeah, I was going to say the fins and the paddles, that is like
Yeah.
my ideal swim.
Yes.
But there was no rules around anything.
No.
You couldn't do any of...
And you can walk the run, you can do whatever you
Okay.
like. Just get the distance done.
Okay. And how were you all tracking it to make sure the whole team was doing it?
Garmin and, on Strava. It's an
Yeah.
honesty system, but it's all there.
But
Everything
yes.
we did is on Strava.
Yeah, we just had to tell someone that we had done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea as well that part of the event you had to go and buy a coffee somewhere
Correct.
or a
Yes.
drink. That
You
was
did.
really interesting.
Yeah, that was good.
I think because they all go to Chibo at Henley Beach, so
Right.
it's all there, and so it's like if you can't do it with the group, then you go
okay.
and do it on your own, but that's part of it. 'Cause you
Yeah.
have coffee and just have that community
But
part at the end.
26 people did it. 26.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
there was a few people who had actually done it every year for the last
3.
5 years.
I've done all 5.
So Kylie was determined. She went to Kona earlier last
yeah, I
year.
think I spoke to her about that.
Is a bit busted, and
Right.
she was like, "I have to do it because I'm the only girl left."
Oh.
So her idea was just to walk maybe walk 5Ks in the morning and do 5Ks in the afternoon
Yeah.
and just break it up a little bit. And she
Yeah.
said actually as it turned out she didn't have to break it up so much. So she was okay.
Oh, how good.
So yeah, quite inspiring to see so many people. And
yeah, it's great.
I'd never committed to it.
I saw
I was-
that. And then you
I was
got ready and did it the next day.
I was always like, I'm definitely doing the swim every day, and I'll probably do the bike.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm committing to. And every day I was like, oh, okay,
Literally
I'll
just
do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I would probably do it again next year.
Oh,
This year.
definitely. You'll have to
Yeah.
come join us next year.
Yeah, well, I always say, right, that I'll have one Christmas at home and then the next year I'll travel. And this Christmas I was at, 2023 Christmas, I was at home, so I'm due to travel again.
Okay. Well, the
You
year
can still
after.
do it when you're away.
But if I am somewhere where I can get on a bike, I'll happily do it. If not, I'll do it another time.
Yeah. And you can use a trainer
Yeah,
if you
cool.
wanted to.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
do it at home. if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah, and so also the idea of wearing the Speedos in these races, where did that come from?
Well, okay, first of all, I'm that bloody old. When I started triathlon, that's all we wore. So that tri shorts hadn't been invented. So we only used DTs.
Yeah.
But Kevy announced midway through the Olympic week that it was Retro's 80s day.
I saw that. That was great.
So only 3 of us sort of put on the midriff tops and the Speedos. And then the aquathon I did last weekend, of which I wore them again. We put something out on Instagram actually saying, should I wear Speedos or not?
I did see that. I think I voted.
And everyone voted Speedos.
I think everyone just wanted him to see him in Speedos. As a joke, I think.
Bit of fun. They're not comfortable to race in. Tri-shorts are a good invention, but...
Did you have a bit of the chafing cream?
Yeah. It was I find you only chafe on the bike, but the swim and run, no, it was fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm a bit of a larrikin, so I like to. I don't need much excuse to dress up.
Or down.
Or down, correct, yeah.
So if there's anybody out there who's thinking of starting their triathlon journey, what would you say to them? Maybe 3 tips.
Join a club.
Yeah.
Yeah, find a club around you and join a club that you've got someone that you, or another person that you can train with.
Yep.
Would be a good one. Just do it. Find an event and do it, because the triathlon community are really welcoming.
Yeah.
You go to any race and there'll be people who are beginners and there'll be people who are pros. So don't be put off by the pros and the fast people. There's plenty of people.
The pros are there so you aim to be like them.
Yes, yeah. And there's plenty of people that are in your ability as well. That's 2. I'm throwing the 3rd one to you.
Start tomorrow.
Yep.
Don't and arc, get into it.
Yep.
2 runs, 2 swims, 2 rides a week.
Yeah.
As a minimum. You don't need fancy equipment. If you've got an old shitty mountain bike, pull it out of the shed.
I must admit, my first triathlon was a sprint on a mountain bike, and I thought it was great. And
Just
until I
doesn't matter.
realised how slow it was.
Go buy a Kmart helmet. You don't need the fancy gear. Just whatever you've got, make it work.
Yeah.
Another one would be, don't get caught up with the... not even the elites, the people with the fancy bikes with the disc wheels. Don't get caught up in that.
Half the time it's just them sounding good and they put the money into it. They actually can't ride it properly.
It can be overwhelming. Don't get caught up in it. Just do your thing. And
I really hate the sound of when they come up behind you with those disc wheels on. Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, they probably love it.
Yeah.
My 3rd one would be, don't compare yourself to others.
Okay.
Just go out and compare yourself to yourself.
That's probably what I meant by that.
Yeah.
Like just do your thing. Just begin.
Yeah.
But tomorrow start.
But if you keep saying tomorrow, why not today?
No, well, you could today, but it's, what is it? It's almost 2 o'clock in the arvo.
But,
they could.
There's always time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the YouTube. Where did the idea come from to start a little community on there and record everything?
I don't really know, honey.
We actually think about this all the time. Like, where did that start from?
How long have you been
We're not
doing
really sure. Almost 4 years? 5 years.
5 years in April.
5 years in April.
Okay, yeah.
So we did a race up in Julia Creek, which is in central Queensland. Really cool race. They don't actually do it anymore, but you got taken out to the dam or to the river, creek, on a cattle truck. So your bikes all went out on this cattle truck and you went out there, and then you swam in the creek, and then you had to ride back into headwind one way into town, and then you did a run. Yeah. So usually when you get headwind, it's like, oh, it's okay. We turn around and we get some tailwind.
Yeah.
And we just took a whole lot of photos, and then it was like, oh, we could make a video out of this, which was terrible.
Yeah,
but we did it.
Oh, the first one's horrendous.
I feel like the first time for everything, like even starting a podcast, the first one's always terrible when you get better.
And like you said, I had to listen to my own voice, and now we're like, oh, that's what I sound like. And that's it. And then we're like, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to get thousands of views because...
Yeah, we thought we'd just instantly get 10,000 views overnight, but
we got like 50.
We got like 20.
We're like, come on, friends.
At least somebody's looking.
So I told my son he had to put it on because he doesn't watch YouTube. I was like, just put it on for your dogs when you go out. Yeah. He always has the TV on, so that's where we get some views from him. But then we started just doing one a week, and then we're just doing events.
We travel. A bit of a following. It's good.
Yeah.
We used to travel a lot, so it was good to do events and van life and that kind of thing. So.
But it's fun. We rock up to races and people. Sometimes you just think no one's watching, but people come up and introduce themselves and go, "Oh, I love your channel," and then it keeps you inspired.
And then is that when you turned it into a bit of a brand as well? So like the whole TriFit brand followed.
It just kind of happened. I don't think we made a conscious effort of it becoming a brand. They just went hand in hand as the channel grew. I guess the brand grew. Yeah, we really like the name. We started off actually as Travel Fit.
Okay.
It was going to be a travel fitness
Yeah.
And then we thought, travel's a bit dicky, and we came up with tries in TRI, triathlon, and fit. And
it's almost like it can try to be fit for anything. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to
correct.
be
Doesn't
triathlon.
have to be
It's
triathlon.
just because we do other races, not just triathlon.
So
in
it just
multisport.
sort of it just grew. I don't know, and it is a brand. You're right. Now it is, and we get people asking us for stickers.
Yeah.
So it is a brand.
I actually just made some stickers for like the podcast too.
Did you? Yeah. Yeah. So it blows our minds that you just do it like you do with your podcast. You just do it, but people out there actually are interested in it.
It's kind of up and down, and you're like, oh, we're not going to do this anymore. Well, that's more Tim will be like.
I've had a few times like, why do we waste
done.
our time with this shit? But in fact, since we've been in Adelaide, I feel it's probably taken the next step. So
yeah, and what's your setup look like? So behind all these videos, what are you recording on, and what are you editing in?
We have 2 GoPros. And we have a Sony camera that we use. So GoPros pretty much is 90% of our recording.
Yep.
Just because they're action and they've got the stabilization. I have done most of the editing up until recently. So I use Final Cut Pro, and then Tim decided he wanted to give it a go. So he does it on the iPad and I'm in iMovie.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So
well, I record this in GarageBand, so...
Yeah, okay. So when you're saying, like, start with what you've got,
yeah.
like, you don't need an expensive program. I used to work at Apple, so I got
the
program.
cool. Just drop that.
Just drop that. So I've got the program...
Knowledge behind.
Yeah, and Final Cut is like an expensive app to have, but you could just do it in iMovie if someone's thinking of doing it.
Yeah. What did you used to do at Apple?
I was a trainer.
Okay.
So my official title was creative, and I used to teach people how to use their Macs and iPhones and iPads.
Oh, fun.
And also taught kids workshops and using, because I was a teacher prior to that.
Right.
And was teaching kids how to use technology in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah. Did you continue any of your career when you came to Adelaide?
I'm thinking of going back to teaching this year. Yeah, so I'm just going through the registration process just to do some temporary relief teaching.
Yep. Yeah, interesting. Somebody said to me, what do they actually do in their lives when they're not training?
We both have other jobs.
I have another job too. I've got 2 other jobs.
Oh, what do you do?
So I'm a rowing coach.
Okay.
So I'm coaching the first aid at my old school, Only High School, and I'm a bicycle accessory sales rep.
Okay.
So I call on all the bike shops in in South Australia, and
is that what made you move back to SA as well?
No, I've been doing the repping job for 10 years. I was doing that in Queensland. The reason we came back was for the rowing.
Okay, yep.
I wanted to coach at my old school. So that's the main reason we're here.
Yeah. So many people are like, what do they really do?
Yeah.
So my other job is in social media.
Oh, okay.
So I work for myself, but I do social media for the same wholesaler that Tim works for.
Oh.
But we have 4 different brands that I do that social media for.
Yeah.
And also do athlete sponsorship.
Oh,
and
cool.
athlete liaison, mainly in the mountain bike industry.
Like a management kind of setup?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
And hence the bike thing
Bikes,
kind of.
yes. So it all kind of fits in.
What's your goal moving forward back to like the YouTube social media stuff? Where do you want to go with it all? What's your like dream to...
I said I would be happy if we got 1,000 views every video. So currently we're averaging 300 to 500 maybe, so we're not even really halfway. But I remember back when we said we'd be happy if we got 100 views.
Yeah.
So I honestly feel that if we could get 1,000 views per video, it makes the effort you put into it feel good. I think that's for me. I don't.
Yeah, we don't really have any goals as such, like as a business goal or something.
No, it doesn't make any money. It's not
like
a money maker.
Yeah.
It's a hobby.
But we get rewarded with entries to events, and we get
product.
We've had product and helmets and sunglasses.
Yeah,
and
that's the other thing. People were asking, who are you sponsored by for your little setup here? Well, it's not little anymore, but like
we do
are
have some
our biggest
sponsors.
one is Infinite Nutrition
And Cask helmets, Koo sunglasses. The local race organisers are helping us with entries. Jason. So thanks to them. We're doing some other races where the organisers give us entry to it.
How good. That once that builds up, the entry fees get quite expensive.
And then we do a video. That's what they get in return. We do a video of the event. If we can, we do a race recce the day or 2 before, go around the course or something.
Yeah,
so
and then also promote it on our social media as well. And
nice.
If anyone's out there that wants to sponsor us,
we get bike stuff cheap.
Yeah.
Because
obviously.
we're in the industry.
and I got a lot of contacts in the industry, so bikes and things.
Yeah,
through
so if
mates
you want
at
to
bike
sponsor
shops.
a really good YouTube too, for good YouTube channels, one of them being a podcast, let us know. But yeah, no, that's really cool though. Like, it started from such a small thing and how you kind of spread it around. But the other thing is, would you go to TikTok? A lot of people are talking about that.
We do actually have TikTok, and I just...
We're too old.
Honestly,
no,
I've literally just gone on it since I started the podcast, and some of the stuff, it's so easy to post something small on there. Like, a snippet of what you're posting on YouTube.
We went to the movies yesterday and watched Boys in the Boat. Great movie, particularly as a rower.
I do want to see that.
TikTok advertised.
Yeah, TikTok
Like,
advertised at the cinema.
TikTok advertised at the cinema. You know, the pre-ads before the movie, and I couldn't believe it.
We do have TikTok, so if you want to follow us there, you can.
I'll tag you everything in there,
Yeah.
Maybe
And I kind of go back and forward. So my thing is Instagram. I love Instagram.
So do I.
And then I do try and every now and then go into TikTok.
But I do feel a lot of our viewers are the Instagram age group.
It's interesting though, because we do have a lot of kids, like teenagers, who follow us on our YouTube, which feels really weird.
I feel like
because we're in our 50s. Yeah. We're like, oh, really? What? But we'd love it. So if you're listening, keep going. Keep coming up and saying hello and saying you watch our videos. But that's kind of interesting. That's not the demographic we would have thought would be watching. That's
the same with like the podcast as well. My literally demographic is like 18 to 65 at the moment, and it's like even in between.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so like it's never really where you think you're going, but just keep it open as you can to everyone.
Yeah.
But I think your videos are really good for people starting out in a sport to go and see what it's really like, and you give a really good taste of what triathlon is really like on the other side kind of thing as being an athlete. So
we certainly try to keep it real. We always said that.
I do like that.
And we have been hit up with people wanting to sponsor us that we haven't necessarily... It's
like
not something we'd probably use, and we're like, thanks, but to be honest, it's not something.
Yeah, yep.
So we want to keep honest with that. And our videos are really just our experiences. They're just, good or bad or ugly. Ugly in many cases in my races, but if they go wrong, well, we show it.
So if you got like heaps of views on you running in Speedos, would you racing them more?
Oh, God.
The thing we notice we get good views on is when Tim suffers.
Oh.
Yeah, if I have a good race, no one gives a shit. If I suffer, good views.
Do you purposely sometimes complain a little bit more so that people...
No, I complain. No, that's me. That is me. No one sees it out there, but when we're home, Amanda gets to see it all, warts and all.
Look, the getting into bed part in your last video, that was great to really show how tired you were.
I really went to sleep.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I just grabbed the GoPro.
And you know the other part when you were doing I think it was at the end of the video where you're like walking in and out the door in your different outfits.
Oh, yeah.
That was so iconic. I have to ask, did you just record that in like 10
No,
minutes?
that was real.
No, that was real.
I went
so
for the
good.
ride, so we put the GoPro on the table. I just started it, wheeled my bike out, came back, turned it off.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, I went in, turned it back on, but went out, wheeled the bike back in.
You can see that you actually did that because of the light difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was sweaty after the run. So that was like, by day 7, no one wants to see you riding along a bike path anymore.
I've
So
had
we
that,
just thought I'd just try something different.
That was really cool though, because you had seen your whole journey.
Yeah.
And then to do a quick one, I'm like, yeah, we're done. That was really
Oh,
interesting.
good, thank you. Yeah.
Watch out, you might be in the movie scene soon.
Oh, there we go.
It's always hard trying to think of different angles or different ways to show the same thing. Because we're doing a race, but what's different about this
Particularly
race
when you're tired, it's like, oh, God. And racing, because we often will race with the GoPro, that's incredibly difficult.
I was going to say, I saw that.
You got to remember, even to push the button and turn it on and turn the camera to you or something.
I find it hard enough trying to change your watch in between the different events,
Yeah.
let alone.
So my aquathlon one's coming out, and I ran with the GoPro.
Yes.
So that will be out. Whereas we had a friend who did the other part that you saw.
I think
with Tim's
you posted
one.
that. That's what I saw. Yeah.
But what makes it harder now, there's these new triathlon rules where you're not allowed to have a GoPro.
I did say that.
So we have to kind of sneak it
we
in.
did have official clearance for that race.
Okay, so does that mean you just got to make lots of friends who stand on the sideline?
Correct.
Yes.
Or you just discreetly put it in your running shoe.
Or on your bike somehow?
It's pretty obvious on the bike, but if you mount it under the handlebar... But we're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's a rule, but it is.
Yeah, we've done it previously underneath, mounted it on the handlebars. But you forget, as you're riding, you forget whether it's on or off.
Oh,
and so you just keep pressing the button. You're like, I'll get something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard when you're racing because you're focused on racing.
Would you think of putting like a chest strap on at all, or like an easier way to, I guess you're getting the people in front of you because you're running the opposite way back on the laps.
Yeah, it's hard because you got to put it on, and
True, yeah.
you know, because we do multi-sport, we're in between different
that's very
disciplines.
true. You need to like hit up GoPro and get them to make like a Sonic that suits you.
we literally just carry it in our hands.
Yeah.
So we just, because it's got the inbuilt stabilizer, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and then your big swim around West Lakes.
Yeah.
The like video of that was pretty good with you on a paddleboard.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a really nice swim actually. I enjoyed
nice
that.
Day that day.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. It's like the Olympic weeks, the furthest I'd ever swum, but it actually went really quick. And I was swimming with a couple of fast guys, so I was just sort of sitting on their feet for the whole swim. So I probably, I was sitting on Pete's feet most of the time.
It's a nice place to swim, but also to paddleboard. Like I've been out there a few times paddleboarding.
Yeah. That's my longest ever paddleboard. I've been on. That was the third time I've ever been on a paddleboard.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, did you stand all the way around though while you're recording?
There was one section I went on my knees because of the headwind.
Yeah. I was going to say, on your knees out there is so much nicer.
Yes, yeah. I realised that after.
Yeah.
Like, I was halfway through the stretch with the headwind. And I was like, if I go on my knees, it's easier. So, yeah, that was fun. It
was a good swim. Enjoyed it.
Would you do it again though?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We swim there Monday nights.
Okay.
So the Lakers do an open water swim there Monday night at 6 o'clock.
Not around the island.
Not around the island, but just in the lake. So we swim there a lot. We love it. And also it's where I coach rowing. So
of course.
I'm there every day pretty much.
And then in terms of like your ocean swimming, do you ever get out there and do a few, especially before a big race?
Down here we have, like again with the Lakers, they seem to go out a couple of days a week, particularly in summer. So they'll go out a few mornings. And
usually Henley Beach.
So sometimes we go down there to Henley Beach. Yeah.
It's lovely because
really
open
nice.
Water swimming in
hate
Queensland
it anyway.
is all just big dumpy waves.
Of
Here
course,
it's if it's not a shitty day, it's like glass. It's beautiful.
Pretty protected, which is good in that way.
Yeah.
The only thing is it's colder, and so you have to wear a wetsuit.
Yeah,
Whereas
true.
Queensland, you can just go out in swimmers. It's nice.
I still wouldn't wear a wetsuit in that kind of weather though.
Yeah.
Like here, I'd just still jump in.
Yes.
Do you prefer it than pool swimming though?
Yes.
Because you have to turn.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I really like open water swimming. I'm not a strong open water swimming.
Yeah.
But I do like it more.
I like both.
And I've just liked it more and more as the more I'm doing it.
Name a sliding door moment in your life where it turned left or right to change your...
Well, I'll tell you this sliding door moment. So Tim was working in a bike shop.
Mm-hmm.
This is on the Gold Coast. And I was, I used to take my bike there to get serviced. And I'd met him once there because he had just started. I'd met him once and didn't really take any notice, which he keeps reminding me of. And then I had messaged the owner of the bike shop and said, can I bring my bike in tomorrow? And I need it back by a certain day because I had a race coming up or whatever. And they're like, yep, bring it in the morning. Terry, the bike owner, will be there. And so I was like, okay. And I went down and Terry wasn't there and Tim was there. And I was like, oh, I thought I was going to bring it into Terry. And he's like, well, Terry was riding to work on his motorbike and he hit a kangaroo.
Oh.
He's in hospital. And so Tim didn't normally work that day. And so we actually just started chatting and that's kind of where we started to, get together.
Mm.
So that was kind of, because he hit the kangaroo, then he wasn't there. So they actually, for our wedding present, they gave us a little stuffed kangaroo, a little stuffed toy.
So you met over a bike service, really?
Yes.
Did you put a lot of effort into that bike service to make sure it was all
I
good?
think so. Yeah.
I went to get my bike serviced and got more.
You did. You did. I had to do a bit of convincing.
You did, yeah.
At first you weren't that excited by it. Mind you, you'd only recently separated.
Yes, but that was kind of a big sliding door, I think.
I'm really struggling with a sliding door moment. Maybe I don't really understand what that means.
Like a moment in life where one decision has changed your path for the future.
Well, I guess if you say recently, so us moving to Adelaide, we came here beginning of 2023 for really a holiday. You did Victor Harbour race again, but qualifying. It was a qualifying race for Townsville. And as we were driving in, I'd said, I'm really starting to like Adelaide again. I feel a bit of a pull back to the place. And Amanda said, well, why don't we move there? And that was it. Decision was made as we drove in. I said, are you serious? She said, yes. I went, okay.
So that was March and we were here in June.
Oh, nice.
And that's kind of the way we roll. We're pretty spontaneous like that.
Yeah.
Pretty nomadic. So I guess that very much so. And here we are.
Yeah,
and
we
then
weren't expecting that.
I had to go to the rowing club, the school, and say, hey, do you need a coach? Which, by coincidence, they did. The rest is history. So let's make that the sliding door moment.
And you're talking about like the driving around. Do you drive to all the events, or do you prefer that than flying?
Yeah, we do. I don't love flying. There's that, but
I was gonna say, was that the reason why you drive to all the events?
we have a camper van, so it's great. We can take our time. We can just pull up anywhere and sleep, and we're fully self-contained. And you know, the travel to the destination is part of the holiday. We really like that. Personally, I love the outback, driving through it.
Yeah.
It's easier to take your bikes and all your equipment. We always make a point of driving and taking extra time. So, like the Nullarbor was not that big a drive, really. 5 days is really comfortable.
How do you go, like, doing a 5-day drive but then having to race at the end of it? Do you train it all along the way, or...?
We usually do. So I was actually feeling sick that time, so I didn't. But normally we would train.
Yep.
And we usually try to get to the event. So in this case, we got Thursday, and I was racing Sunday.
Okay.
So you have a few days there.
Yeah, yeah.
But also we started because Tim's repping gig in Queensland. He was doing all of Queensland and half of New South Wales. So we would actually look for an event.
Okay.
And then work around that.
Yeah, yeah.
I was still working, so we
yeah.
could go down. I'd work a couple of days, do a race.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because I used to do all the way up to Port Douglas, so we'd go up there 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Do a race, I'd work, so it was kind of paid for. Also, when I say
Crazy.
paid for, I worked. I was still getting some money. So that's what happened up until now. Not the case. If we go away, I'm not working. So yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, it's a nice setup that you got so that you can be able to do that and you don't have the stress of getting on a plane and your bike's getting banged around.
No.
Yes, or going missing.
We're doing, well, you've got Port Macquarie, and then I'm doing a race near Mackay, so then we're driving all the way to Mackay, and then we'll come home, and then Townsville's 3 months later, and we'll drive back up to Townsville.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
You know,
So
it's nothing for us to drive 6, 7, 8,000 K in a trip.
We did some races and we had my time trial bike on the back. We had a surf ski on the top, and we were in the middle of Central Australia because we went from Brisbane to Alice Springs to Darwin to Townsville to do racing. So we'd go into it like in Alice Springs, and people were like, "What are they doing with a surf ski?"
Yeah, we love it.
Trying to find your local lake to give it a go.
In fact, when we're done with this Adelaide gig, plan is to buy a big van, something that is fully self-contained, and move into it. Just travel for
How many
long.
bikes would you have on the back of that though?
Oh, that's the
Well,
discussion.
we've got to work all that out.
We haven't worked that out yet.
Well, how many bikes do you have now each?
I only have
3.
2.
I have
You have
3.
3. Yeah, I just have a gravel bike, which is my road bike, gravel bike, time trial bike, all in one, and a mountain bike.
And I've got a road bike, a mountain bike, and a time trial bike.
Nice.
So the idea is like, which ones would we take?
Yeah,
if
what
we
would
were
you
going
take?
If you had to take one each, probably a gravel bike. Then you can't really do gnarly mountain biking on it. There is no one bike for everything. You know that.
Yeah.
I think if we did 2 bikes each, that would be. I'd
You'd be
take the
happy with
road
that.
bike and the mountain bike.
Yeah.
Because you can do a triathlon on a road bike.
Yes.
And then we could also put gravel wheels on it.
Yeah.
So take an extra set of
But
wheels.
where do you put them? Because when they're outside the car on a rack.
Yeah, but I guess
They're
the frame could go on the
exposed.
rack and the wheels could go in somewhere, so like
Yeah.
a drawer or something.
We're gonna.
Yeah,
You got to plan this
we
properly.
do
We're
have
always
to-
thinking about
Yes.
Yeah.
And when's the plan for this to happen?
4 or 5 years away.
Yeah.
It's a few years.
We're
yeah.
here. I mean, my commitment to the rowing program was at least 3 years.
Yep.
So we've been here 6 months. So we've got a while yet.
Yep.
And then who knows?
There is a race in Queensland that Tim wants to do, so that might end up being first, but we'll need to be back there for him to train.
Yep.
It's like Coolangatta Gold, so we need to be at the surf to train for that. So it could
Yeah.
be after that. Who knows?
We've got a place in Mermaid Beach on the Goldie, so.
Do you just like rent all
Yeah,
that
we
kind
rent
of stuff
that,
out
so
before
we'll-
you moved?
Yeah, so we can.
That's nice that you have like a little home base for when you
Correct.
go up there. Yeah.
So we can, at some point, we'll go back to that. We'll end up back on the Gold Coast.
And so back to your rowing, what are you training them for to get to what level?
So school rowing, there's the big annual race is Head of the River at West Lakes, which is in mid-March. So everything is building to that. And then there's lots of littler regattas also.
Yep.
And it's very much a private school sport.
Yes.
Unley being a public school. So I rowed at Unley, and my school has won Head of the River first eights once in 50-year history.
Yep.
And I was in that crew. In
Is that the reason they got you back?
Well, that's the reason I wanted to come back. I was in the only winning crew, and I thought it'd be cool to come back and help make it happen again is my dream. So that's my main reason. If I hadn't won, would I still be doing this? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, that door wouldn't have opened.
No, there you go. That's right.
So at the moment, what are you consuming in terms of podcasts, TV shows, books, and when you're not on your own YouTube?
Well, yeah, TV shows. We're actually watching Make or Break, the surf show on Apple TV Plus.
And we watched Ted Lasso.
And Ted Lasso was a good one.
We got, what is it? Apple TV for a month and binge watched a few series.
So we do like the surf culture.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Can you surf?
No, I have surfed once. Both my kids surf and they've shown me. So I've surfed once or twice.
Yeah.
I can stand up.
I watch YouTube. When I'm home, I just watch YouTube. And I watch channels that no one would probably expect I watch. Probably my favourite channel is one called the Duracell Project, and it's a couple who bought a old around the world racing yacht, and they're converting it into they're going to live on it full time. So they're
that's cool.
taking it from a racing yacht to more of a cabin type live on boat.
Yeah.
And it's just the process of this guy building this boat into something they can live in.
It's so fun though.
And I love it.
So you might be living on a boat instead of in a
No,
cabin.
well,
He never wants to do
I don't want to build a
anything.
boat.
He
I
does
don't want to
on-
live on a boat. It just fascinates me the way he does it. So that's probably one of my favourite channels. They only put out one video a week, unfortunately.
I got very excited this morning when it came out. I was like, oh, it's out.
So,
You have like the notifications on it when you see it.
I don't follow a lot of sport YouTube channels, really. To be honest, I don't think I do. It's all just...
No, we watch the sport, like the big triathlon races.
Yeah.
We'll watch those when they come on.
Who are your people that you're following in those kind of races?
Of course, everyone wanted Lucy to win.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, win Hawaii. So that was a really good
YouTube's
story.
amazing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I don't watch too much of it. I don't actually watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So I have my channel, but I don't watch it. So Tim does the watching
I think
for both
when
of us.
now they've been on holidays over Christmas and like the TV's terrible, so the YouTube's my first thing to go to, and I watch like a lot of like English Premier League women's and all the highlights on that, which is a good place to watch it because there's actually nowhere else to watch it. So
yeah, right.
Stuff like good sport highlights are always really good on YouTube for triathlon too. So
yeah.
I do like that.
As far as who do we follow triathletes, I follow more the races versus
Yeah.
the athletes. So obviously the world championships of any sort, I love to watch things like that. As far as an athlete, any Australian typically, but we don't tend to have
Ellie
a lot.
Salthouse.
Oh, we love Ellie Salthouse.
Yeah.
She's pretty good. I used to
did see
sponsor
you
her
tag-
when she was a kid. I used to have a bike shop in Brisbane, so that's kind
I
of
see
cool.
you tag her a lot.
Yes, so she messaged us today. Actually.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
cool.
really?
She's a fun kid.
So I'm
I
looking
knew
for
her.
a new saddle.
Oh, right.
And what's the other Aussie girl who's
You
doing
should
well?
send her the
Sarah
link.
Crowley.
Yes, I followed her for years.
No, the one.
Oh, Ash Gentle.
Ash Gentle.
Ash
She's-
Gentle's probably my favourite.
She's doing
Yeah.
great. She's great
Yeah.
to watch. But as far as boys, I don't think Australia really has any.
You
Oh,
said-
yes, they do. The guy in Brisbane who got second or third at
And
Hawaii.
Steve McKenna's from Adelaide
Steve
too.
McKenna,
Steve
he's great.
McKenna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually have.
Who's the guy I'm
chatted
talking
to-
about?
No
He
one
got
knew it.
third at Hawaii last year. You know, the guy, he didn't race this year because he was injured.
Yeah, but Hawaii didn't have men's this year.
No,
I
but
mean,
he didn't do the
2023.
world champs. I can never remember his name. He used to
You probably
off-road
think of it
trial.
later and I did
Be like,
it.
Oh,
edit
well.
that in. Just
You should send
AI.
Ellie and send Ellie Salthouse the podcast and see if
Yes.
she
Oh, we
wants to
will.
come on
I will.
after.
About them.
Yeah, well, I think she's overseas at the moment, but maybe when she comes,
Plenty of time.
comes to Australia.
So since you're on social media so much, what do you see a lot of? And
See, I spend a lot of time on mountain bike
like
accounts because that's what I do for work. So I tend to look at those. I spend a lot of time on those. But I just like seeing people do, like everyday people doing something interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily follow a lot of like elite accounts or pros or anything. I mean, I do follow them, but I look at a lot of like a huge range of.
What's the
More
mountain
triathlon.
biking scene like in Australia and Adelaide?
It's pretty good. We've got some good. I don't know so much about Adelaide because we've just moved here. There is a national round coming up in March though, so they do have some good mountain biking. I brought my mountain bike, but I haven't been mountain biking since I've been here because I was training for Busselton. So I don't know so much, and we do more cross country than downhill because that's too scary for me. But
What got you into the mountain biking part of social media though? Just being
Tim.
Tim?
Yes, just from there. Because I was doing social media. I used to have, many years ago, I had a food blog. Kind of when Instagram first started, and I was quite successful on that, and used to get like some sponsorship through that. And then other people then were like, oh, if you're okay with that, can you do my account? And so I started doing it for some other people, and then I ended up doing it for the same work that Tim does it through.
Yeah.
So I don't have any formal qualifications, but I just I'm on social media. You don't want to see my, when you get that weekly recap of how many hours you've spent on your phone.
It's just, don't
want to see mine.
No, I agree. I haven't, obviously work on a computer all day, and I'm glad that doesn't match up with my screen time on my phone, because it would be triple the amount.
Yes, yeah. So,
yeah.
Yeah, the mountain biking scene, we've got some good Aussies, particularly some girls coming up, young girls coming up who are doing world champs and things.
That's exciting.
Going overseas, so
yeah.
Max Newman is the person.
Oh, the triathlete,
and I mountain biking on that. I prefer the off-road triathlon.
Okay, yeah.
So,
have you done many of those?
Yeah, heaps. And I don't really love road riding anymore. I got hit by a car and I've just lost my nerve. So I tend to I'll ride in a bunch on the road, but otherwise I'm typically on bike paths.
Yep.
But mountain biking and gravel riding's more my gig. So I'm trying to qualify for Townsville for the off-road triathlon.
Okay. So in an off-road tri, the distance is the same, and what's...
The typical, the Olympic distance, if you like, is 1,500 swim, 30K mountain bike and a 10K run.
Yep.
Yeah, in the bush, trail run. Townsville's an odd distance, 1,020 and 6, which is really short, which actually suits me, but I've got to see if I qualify first.
And where's the qualifying races at the moment?
They're done and I didn't do any.
Oh.
So it's not true. I did one and I won it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a member of Triathlon Australia, so I didn't get any points. So we sent them an email explaining that and how I won it, and we'll see.
Okay.
And then when we moved to South Australia, there's no races down here.
Yeah, I was going to say
no
that's not a
off-road
thing.
triathlon down here, down in South Australia or Victoria. So it was too hard to get to anything.
And your third point on the social media thing, I don't do it. I don't have any. I don't do Instagram. Amanda does all that for TriFit. I don't have any of that. So
you just edit it and...
I edit a movie, and I don't have anything.
I had to show him how to use Instagram stories when I was racing Busso, because everyone was like, we want to know, we want to be able to follow you.
I think that's when I started following you.
Yeah, okay.
And I was watching it all.
So the stories was all Tim on that day.
Yeah.
And he learned how to do that. He's probably forgotten how to do it now.
And
he's not interested. He's not interested in that.
No, it's not my...
And I love it. So
funny, because really YouTube is social media in some respect, and we have a big social media account, if you like, but I don't know, doesn't interest me.
But you enjoy doing all the video stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I do.
Got a couple of listener questions. So, Tim, there's been a couple of questions about you should have been penalised at the aquathon. A penalty should have been a minute for each time you did something. Do you know what that was?
I ran through the transition, not
and
around the edge.
And the worst part was, this person also said you posted it on your videos.
Well, I wasn't aware that you shouldn't have done that, which is why I did it. But since then, obviously, I shouldn't have.
Jason's watching.
And hopefully they'll be nice to me, because actually I'm hoping to go to the Worlds for the aquathon, and that's my only chance. So,
but now he knows the rule.
Jason, wasn't aware of the rule. I should have listened.
He did say it at race briefing.
Apologies, so but yes, they're correct. I shouldn't have. I wasn't aware, but now I am. So yes, I'm naughty.
Yeah. And the one for Amanda was, who's the better athlete?
Well, if you talk, depends on what you classify as better. If you're looking at speed, Tim, easily. If you're looking at endurance, I'm probably better.
Absolutely.
That.
Yeah, Amanda likes long, I like short.
So with that Olympic week, so the first 2 days Tim was great and I was kind of average, but then I got better.
Yeah.
And then he kind of went downhill.
Did you make any PBs in that Olympic week?
No.
It was just
PBs in most training.
Most training, yeah.
It was my biggest bike week, my biggest swim week, and my biggest overall training week.
Yep.
So that's a PB, isn't it?
But not on. We didn't even look at speed. It was
slow.
To get through, you really needed to be aerobic.
Or if you race that, I'd be surprised if you'd finish it.
Absolutely fair. And how's your training looking at the moment, going into where you are now? What are you currently training load?
So I had a month off after Bustleton, and I've just come back onto program. So feeling a bit fatigued, actually, like just trying to get back into it.
Did you do anything in that month off?
Besides the Olympic week.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big. And then I did the aquathlon last weekend.
Yeah.
So, and I did I would just wake up and go, do I feel like doing something? And often the answer was no. We walk every night. We go out for a walk. So I did that, but not too much during that time. And now I'm probably, I don't know, I guess 12 to 15 hours now, just starting to build up again. So my first race, well, we're doing a race up in Lake Bonnie next weekend.
It's lovely up there.
And then we had done, it was called Murrayman before.
Yes.
So we did that a couple of years ago, and then it's the same course, I think. We're doing that, and then I'm doing the Australia Day Triathlon, and then Victor Harbour.
Yeah, lovely.
So that's good. My 3A races, Victor Harbour, Port Mac, and then World Champs.
Yeah.
It's building in. And I love having a coach because she just puts it in Training Peaks, and I do it, and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah. So what's your training load looking like at the moment? How many times are you doing each?
I don't even usually look at that. I just know... Well, I went today. Thursday's a swim. So this weekend's a bit different because this weekend is Tour Down Under.
Of course.
So I'm doing a ride up to Harndorf tomorrow, and I'm riding Chloe Hoskins, an ex-pro, on Saturday. She's doing a group ride.
Yes.
So this weekend's a little bit different. But I normally swim, 3 days a week? I guess I think it's probably 3, 3 and 3.
Yeah, that's a good
Plus
setup.
I do a strength session and a yoga session.
I think that's always important to have that alongside training this kind of sport, because it really helps in that prehab, so you never have to rehab. I keep saying that along this, but that's very important to keep your yoga and the strength kind of
thing. So when we came to Adelaide in July, I started going to the gym, and I was going twice a week, and I actually missed the yoga part. So then I stopped the gym and started going to yoga twice a week, and I'm starting to miss the gym. So I'm thinking what I'll do this year is go 1 gym and 1 yoga.
Yeah, that's
kind of get that balance.
Do you go to the same place for both, or?
No, so there's a yoga studio around the corner, and the gym is where our local pool is. In the city. We live in the city.
Yep.
Yeah, Freedom Fitness.
Cool. And I'm a little more complicated. I've actually been uncoached my whole life. Up until last year, I had a coach for the first time for 3 months, which worked really well. So I'm going to go back on program beginning of February. But I'm doing an odd race. It's a 15K mountain bike, 10K paddle. I do surf ski paddling. Yep. And then a 10K mountain bike, and then a 10K trail run, and then a 30K road ride.
Okay. That's
a time
very
trial.
Different one.
It is. So I've done it before. It's up near Mackay, up in North Queensland. So I will start training for that in February.
How does that work in terms of transitioning your 2 bikes being there?
Well, we've got to take 2 up there.
Yeah, of course.
So you need 2 bikes, of course.
So you set up normally and just have a second
Correct.
bike? Oh, that's...
So we went once and
we've done it before.
So we had 4 bikes and 2 surf skis.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm not doing I'm just doing parts of that.
Yeah. It's the week after where Amanda's doing Port Macquarie, so keep going up. So that's what I'm training for next is so a lot of mountain biking and a lot of paddling and trail running and stuff like that, which is what I love.
Lovely.
But I'm going back on program with Jackie, the girl who was an ex-pro, or actually still tries to race pro. She just had a kid, but so anyway, she did really well for me, so I'll go back on program.
The next question is, how do you feel about having a life on YouTube? So, how do you feel showing around where you're running and racing?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
No.
No problems. I've never... some people I notice in YouTube videos, for example, blur out the number plate for their cars in a shot. What are they going to do with our number plate?
You already have a logo on your
Yeah.
side.
So we're not, as we said earlier, we're pretty sincere with it all. What you see is us. We're not putting anything on. And
you see our place.
You see where we live. You see us wheeling the bikes in
everything.
and out of our gate. I mean, no problems at all with it.
We're not really, our life is out there. There's not much else that you'll see if if it wasn't on YouTube.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard to track us down if someone was keen, but why the hell would they,
There's only a couple of bikes in the car
Yeah.
that you could choose
we're
from.
on the 6th level.
Yeah.
And you need a special key to get up there, and the
fair
bikes live in our apartment.
And in terms of your other equipment, is there any brands that you're loving using as well?
Well, I'm a Trek ambassador, so I have a Trek gravel bike.
Yep.
It's funny because we have 4...
But we've got 4 different
brands
brands.
of
Amanda
bikes.
just got a BMC because a mate of mine back in Brisbane is a BMC dealer and did us a good deal. So a lot of that. My mountain bike's coming up 7 years old. It's a Giant, and your mountain bikes are specialised.
And my road bike's a Fuji.
Yep.
So we're not brand specific.
Fair enough.
I do like Trek, I must admit. It's the first time I've had a Trek. I've been really happy with it.
And what's your triathlon bike, as in your TT bike?
It's a BMC.
Yeah, nice.
BMC what's it called? Time
Time
machine.
machine.
Yeah, nice.
So it's called a Mandalorian.
Oh.
So like Mandalorian.
Yeah.
From,
And it's
Back
only
to the
new. We
Future
only
and-
just got that before Busso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very nice. Very
Yeah.
bright blue.
It's very pretty. It's
Yeah.
just sitting
All
there
the
unloved.
gear and no idea.
Oh, no.
Let's try it.
I've got the
That's not
I've got
true.
the helmet because Cass gave me a great helmet which I love, like an aero helmet. So it's funny seeing me on it.
Nah, son. All adds up.
Next one, how do you go with like the mental side of triathlon and doing this many races?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm overall very positive, and
Yeah.
I always have been. Yeah, I just love training, and I love racing. I love how training makes me feel. And once, many years ago, a coach said to me, I was at a race, and I must have said something about being nervous. He said, "Why are you?" He said, "Do you love doing this sport?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why are you nervous then? Just go
Yeah.
out and do it." And I was like, "Oh, maybe it's." And I feel now like if I get that nerves, it's more. I think to myself, it's more excitement than nerves. It's
Okay.
not nerves. I'm just excited about being
Yeah.
there. But there are times, so in Busso, when I wasn't doing so, because I was sick and on the bike, and I could see my speed going down, and I just knew I wasn't feeling too well. And you often feel that
Yeah.
you have these times in a race, particularly on a longer race where it's not feeling good. I was like, okay, I'll just give myself 10 minutes or 15 minutes and then see how I feel after that. So it's almost like just breaking it down a lot, and I think that helps mentally with any of the disciplines and
Yeah.
the whole lot. If you just break it down, like I just need to get to this spot first, and then I'll
Yeah.
see how I am. I just need to get to this spot, and you often find your mental side changes anyway.
Oh, cool. So the next one was after a big race, what to go to after a race kind of liquid a meal.
I don't really change anything, to be honest. I just
Do you have
eat-
like a bit of
eat-
a celebration when you finish a big race?
No, we're very fussy eaters, so
I'm going to say beer and hot chips.
for
Like,
you.
Get the carbs.
So many people say good like bowl of hot chips or shower beer apparently. Apparently
Yeah.
having a beer in the shower after a race is something you need to
Really?
try.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Well,
I don't.
I just, we'll often get
Nothing.
beer.
I don't. No, I don't
But
have
the hot
anything
chippies
special.
seem to be a very thing. Similar
Maybe
thing.
just craving carbs and salt
Mm.
after a race.
Yeah.
And I don't drink soft drink at all, and if it's been a hot race, I do like a good soft drink.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything special, to be honest.
Is there anything that you like preload on as well? Like the night before do you always have the same meal or?
No.
Oh, no, actually, we're pretty similar, because if we're away, then we are very basic, and we will have tofu, veg and rice, but often not so much veg the night before. So
Yep.
protein and the carbs the
Yep.
night before.
Yeah, we don't
Yes.
eat meat, so it's all plant-based. So, yeah, a lot of tofu, but we'd have that anyway. It's
Yeah,
not-
that's what we normally have anyway.
Yeah.
But we don't have, we
Why?
wouldn't have spice, I guess. the
No.
night before.
Yeah.
No, we're pretty basic with what we eat.
Do you
to be
find
honest.
since going like plant based and racing as well, you're like better off?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, much better, more energy.
Yeah, right.
See, also, like we're both 53, so yeah, I feel as you get older, you put more priority into your health. You take it
Yep.
a bit for granted when you're younger. You just can do whatever, but you can't continue. So
Yeah.
I find personally for me, my health is utmost importance
Yep.
compared to what it was even 10 years ago. So all the way down to eating and things like that, and just training every day, and so it changes. It does change as you.
Yeah. And does back to your training, like in between this race you're about to do with the multidiscipline, is that like how much different do you change that from being a triathlon race?
So I haven't loved road triathlon for a long time.
Okay.
I don't do many. And
You just better being the
love-
videographer.
yeah, I love racing, but probably not road triathlon.
Yeah.
So multi-sport and off-road triathlon, things like that, I really love. I don't know what it is about road triathlon. I just don't love it anymore. I love the atmosphere. I love being there. So the multi-sport is more my gig. Learning to paddle, I'm fairly new at paddling, and I'm really loving learning something different. So,
Yeah, right. Would you go and give one of those ones in New Zealand to go where they do like the
oh,
whole
coast to
canoe?
coast? No way.
No?
No, shit, no. No
He
way.
doesn't
That's
really
like
like
Iron Man.
long.
I don't
Anything
like
long.
long either.
Right.
That's
Is there not a
shorter.
shorter version of that?
You can do it over 2 days.
Okay.
But even the 2-day events, you're looking at, for someone like me, 8 hours each day or
Yeah.
something.
What are your thoughts? There's a rumour going around in the last episode when you listen to it that there's thoughts of maybe a multi-day triathlon coming.
Oh.
So it's like swim one day, bike the next, run the next.
Well, they kind of do
They
that.
do that at the Ultra.
But I mean, like, coming to Adelaide, would you
Oh.
do
Oh,
it?
coming to Adelaide.
Wow. So
Okay,
it'll be
like-
ultra long then.
Well, I can't tell you the distance because
No.
they're not confirmed. But
Well, I would assume it'll be ultra
Oh, is
long,
this
and
from-
I think that's great for Adelaide, but not for me.
Okay.
Yeah, if it fits into...
If it's anything like Ultraman, it's like a 10k swim and
No,
400k
I think
ride.
there's a shorter one that's
Yeah.
a 5k swim or anyway, depending on the distance. I'd
You'd probably have a crack.
yeah.
Yeah, no, not
Would
me.
you like to be able to have the breaks in between each day though? Like, would you really?
Yes.
I don't know. I have done one race where I've done. I did a half marathon one day, a trail half marathon, and then the same thing the next day.
Mhm.
And it's really interesting because you worry, thinking, "Oh, how am I ever going to?" Because you know how you feel after one race.
Yeah.
How am I ever going to back up? And I really loved it. It was nice having that break because then I think also you talk yourself into it. You know that, okay, I need to have this other race. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. So your body kind of gets ready for it
Yeah.
anyway. And I'd like to have a go at that challenge.
So what's this race? Tell us.
I can't tell you anymore because
But we
you have to
do
listen
know
to-
who is here, who was just in this room.
Exactly.
Okay.
So listen to the episode when it comes out.
Great. That's exciting. That's real
We
exciting.
will promote it. for
We
you.
will get involved with it. I probably won't race it, but we'll be there in some shape
It's
or
in
form.
planning. Listen to the episode before
Okay.
if you haven't already.
All right, for sure.
Now on to my favourite part of the podcast is 5 fast questions. I think we'll start with Tim. He got
Okay.
his 5 and then we'll go to Amanda. So where we go is questions are between 1 and 20. Let's try not do it that you answer the same numbers. I
Yeah,
think that
okay.
will keep
Yeah.
it interesting. So what's the first number between 1 and 20 you'd like to do?
15.
Okay, 15 is your favourite place in the world.
Probably
First number.
Outback Australia.
Okay, good one. Next number.
9.
Number 9 is your spirit animal. What animal would you like to be?
A bird.
Good one. What kind of bird?
I'm going to go a parrot or something like that.
Next number.
Number 3.
Okay, if you could go back to a month in your life, when and why? Back in your bike shop servicing days?
In my life, oh my God. I certainly would have done things different when I was younger.
Yeah.
So maybe as a 20-year-old, drink less, party
Fair
less.
enough. All right, next one.
Let's go 12.
Number 12 is your favourite actor and why? Or actress?
Oh, God. Used to be Morgan Freeman many years ago, but
Yeah.
not so much.
That's the first
like-
thing that came to your mind.
Yeah. Denzel Washington, I like too.
Yeah, nice. All right, last one for you.
Let's go 20.
Okay, 20 is your biggest fear.
I'm claustrophobic.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair fear to have. All right, you ready, Amanda?
Okay.
Okay.
So now I choose different numbers.
Yeah, let's go.
Hopefully. 1.
Okay, what's your go-to or song or artist to listen to? What's like
I
when
don't
you...
actually listen to a lot of music. So this
If you
is-
were to go onto like Spotify or a streaming platform, what's something that you'd press?
I would actually put like a meditation.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're still an artist.
Yeah, some kind of meditation.
Next number.
4.
Okay, 4. Something you look forward to in the future.
Oh gosh, I look forward to so much. Just spending time with Tim.
Oh, honey.
Oh, guys.
I do. I really value that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Number 7.
Your coffee order.
Soy flat white.
Nice. I think, mine's a soy latte, so similar.
Okay. Yeah.
Same
flat
thing,
white,
innit?
same. Yeah.
Flat white, there's a more foamy stuff on the top.
Okay.
Ah,
Oh,
is
no,
that what the
latte.
difference is?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no foam on a flat white.
Ah.
So when you go to like a coffee shop, Chibo's with the Lankers, do they remember your coffee orders?
Not yet. I don't think I've been there enough. Because we tend to. The idea was to go to lots of different coffee shops
Yeah,
and just
fair
try them all out. So.
Do you have a go-to one in town?
What was
We
that one
found
tried?
one that we
And
loved.
it's got a really unusual name, a prayer for
Just
your
near
thoughts
us.
or
It's
something
in,
like that.
what's that square called?
Herschel Square.
Herschel Square.
On the corner?
It's new,
I think I
yeah.
know where you are, yeah.
Oh, it's some best coffee. It was
It's
beautiful.
in the video
we don't-
from the Olympic week.
Yeah,
And we
I
don't
saw
even-
that. I knew where you were. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be an Asian restaurant, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And we got no idea what the name of it is.
It's
Yep.
a really long, unusual name.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll go and drive past it
Yeah.
now. Next number.
17.
Okay, 17 is your favourite car.
Oh, our van.
Would you have like a dream car that if you had enough money you'd buy one?
You know, I don't really care about cars.
Well,
you
so
do.
I do. The one I want is a van that's tall enough for Tim to stand in and that we can go travel in. So, but I don't know what brand that is yet because I haven't looked at it.
Mercedes
like a-
Sprinter.
Yeah, I was just going to say
something,
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Number 10.
Your number 10 is if a movie was made about you, who's playing you as a
Or
character?
Cameron Diaz or Drew Barrymore. I've
Good
thought
one.
about that one.
You've definitely been listening.
There you go.
Well, no, I've had that answer for so many years.
Well, now
I was
you
like,
know.
I love these two girls.
If you
There
go
you
big
go.
on YouTube, you might have to be made by one of them.
So maybe Drew or Cameron could
There you
play
go.
me.
I love that. So for everybody listening, where do we go and find you on all the socials? I'll tag it all anyway.
Yeah, so it's TriFit with Tim and Amanda on YouTube, trifit.tim.amanda on Instagram, and I guess it's the same on TikTok. I don't even know what it is on
Oh,
TikTok.
I'll find it,
We will
don't you
find
worry.
it. TriFit. It will be something with TriFit.
Yeah.
And for the oldies, what about Facebook?
Oh, Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tag them all, don't you worry.
TriFit. I think that's TriFit with Tim and Amanda.
And you post
just-
like regularly?
We post regularly, reels and stories regularly, and post on Instagram. Try to do it daily, but then I get stuck with my work ones and sometimes forget.
Yeah.
And YouTube, we try to do 2 videos a week,
Nice.
and everything from Instagram goes to Facebook.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for coming on and spending some time
it's been
today.
fun.
Yeah, great.
It's been
Thanks
fun.
for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having us.
You're welcome. Wow, what a power couple they are. And it's really interesting to hear the behind the scenes of how the YouTube page started and how they're still so interested in so many different types of sports, especially triathlon and rowing, and exciting to see their page grow and to see where they go into the future. So make sure you go and like, subscribe, and share this podcast to wherever you're listening onto your social medias. Let a friend know how we're growing and going places. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have the best week and see you next Wednesday. Bye!